Have you ever been pushed so far that silence was no longer an option? When someone disrespected you, not just with words but with arrogance, you could walk away or you could stand your ground. But here's the question: what price are you willing to pay for your dignity? Because long ago, in Rwanda, there lived a man named Rukara Rwa Bishingwe, a man whose courage shook an empire and whose story still asks us one question today: what is your dignity worth? By the end of this story, you'll understand why sometimes silence is defeat, and standing tall, even alone, can make you immortal. But in those days, Rwanda was under foreign rule. The hills were quiet, but beneath the silence, anger grew. Strangers gave orders, and the people obeyed, not out of respect, but out of fear. Among them was Rukara Rwa Bishingwe, a man known for strength, wisdom, and a fiery spirit. He wasn't rich, he wasn't royal, but he had one thing no one could take from him: self-respect. And in those times, that was a dangerous thing to have. One afternoon, a foreign officer approached Rukara, arrogant, cruel, and drunk with power. He mocked him in front of his people. He laughed, pointed, tried to humiliate him. Time froze. No one moved. Fear held every tongue, but Rukara's heart burned. He looked at the man and said quietly, "You may rule the land, but you'll never rule my soul." The officer kept laughing until Rukara's hand moved, and in one swift strike, the laughter stopped forever. The crowd gasped. What he did was unthinkable, but deep down, something ancient awakened: dignity. News spread like wildfire. The rulers were furious. Rukara was captured and sentenced to death. He could have begged for mercy. He could have said, "I was angry, forgive me." But when they asked, "Do you regret it?" he answered to no. "I regret only that I had to do it." He wasn't defending violence. He was defending respect. Because to Rukara, life without dignity wasn't life at all. The day came. Rukara was led to the place of execution. The hills were silent. Even the wind held its breath. He stood tall before his people, calm, unshaken. He raised his head and said, "Tell my children, fear may keep you alive for a day, but dignity will make you live forever." Then he faced his fate, standing tall, unbroken, undefeated. Years passed. Rulers changed, but Rukara's name refused to fade. His story wasn't about rebellion. It was about self-worth, about the unshakable belief that even when the world tries to shrink you, you can still stand tall. And today, that message is louder than ever. Maybe you're not facing soldiers. Maybe you're facing bosses who look down on you, systems that silence you, people who think your voice doesn't matter. Sometimes it feels safer to stay quiet, but Rukara's story whispers through time. There's a line between peace and submission. When dignity is on the line, silence is no longer strength. Courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just the voice inside you saying, "I will not be small." Rukara didn't win with power. He won with principle. He didn't live long, but he lived true. That's our challenge today, to live in a world that tests your worth, yet still walk with your head high. Because freedom starts inside, and the moment you refuse to kneel, you become unstoppable. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to be reminded. Dignity is not given, it's claimed. Subscribe to Ubuntu Inspiration. where stories of courage from Africa's past awaken the fire in today's hearts.